Is that wiping your hands or wiping your shoes?
I ain't gonna get into that.
84
Been
people.
asked that a million times.
What did you say?
Same thing. Don't tell nobody. Secret.
When did you start to do that?
School junior high.
You got kids all over the country doing it, and they don't know why they're doing it.
Good.
I got a question on a completely other subject. I'm with Public TV, Channel 2. I would like to know, I'm doing a piece about management style of Casey Jones versus Bill Fitch. I wonder if you could describe the difference.
Well, Casey's a lot more laid back than Coach Fitch was. I felt Coach Fitch was an excellent basketball coach, one of the best I've ever played for. He knew the game in and out, and he worked very hard. Casey's the type of guy that is very knowledgeable. He's been around the game his whole life, and I've always had great respect for both of them. And it was sad last year when Coach Fitch left, but now we got Casey, and I'm very happy with him.
Is he easier to work for?
Well, I don't know about easier. He's not as demanding as Coach Fitch was. Coach Fitch wanted you to be perfect in every phase of the game, which is very impossible. But it's not bad work for a guy like that, because if you know he wants you to be perfect, you know you have an opportunity to be perfect.
They both obviously win.
Well, they're both winners, you know, and it takes a lot of talent and a lot of pride and a lot of teamwork to win a championship. But you know, Coach Fitch was a very tough individual, and he expect nothing but results, and he usually got them. And I'd say KC, you can just look at his past and his coaching records, he's always been successful.
Is he friends? Are you friends with Casey more than Fitch?
Well, I don't know more or less, but I respect both the men more so than anybody I've ever been associated with.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
How was your before? He said, oh, like this.
I don't think at this point.
How's your back?
That's fine.
You describe the two different styles, you know, and who you like to work with and stuff. Yeah. Sorry, we'll make it short. No, it's bright. Okay. Could you describe Casey Jones' style?
Well, Casey style is more relaxed. I think he's loves to have a little bit more say-so, and he's give us a little bit more individuality as compared to what we had before.
What does that do for the team?
I think it makes us make decisions quicker on the court, and we're able to express ourselves a little bit more.
Do you prefer one to the other?
Well, it was a difference between Bill's style and Casey's style. I think both were good for their times. I think when Bill came in here, he came into a chaotic situation, and he had to have a little bit more control, and he was had the reins a little bit more. Where Casey came into a situation where we needed a little bit more poise and patience, and that's what he's given us.
What about discipline? Was Fitch too much of a disciplinarian?
No, not for his time, because as I said before, he came in with a situation where there was a lot of chaos and confusion, and only could have been one captain at the time, and he basically was the captain of the ship, and he dictated.
They both seemed to win.
Both situations were good in their own way. One at the end became a little bit more chaotic and presented some problems, but both situations worked.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Dan.
Did you play under? You played under Fitch?
Well, I was there for about half a year.
Okay,
Came in
because
January
I know you.
last year.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Tell me first of all, describe, if you can, Casey Jones' management style.
Well, I think it's pretty low-key in a way as far as what the people see, but I think that it's pretty powerful, and I think the players have a lot of respect for him. And anytime you have that respect, I think that players respond to it quite well.
Can you compare him to Fitch at all in style?
They're two different styles, and both have been successful, and I don't think it's really fair to knock Coach Fitch. We're having an excellent year this year, and we've also added some players, and the coaches have done an excellent job too. So, you know, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges, just a little bit different.
Is one easier to work with than the other?
Well, this year it seems like the team on a whole has responded better. It seems like the atmosphere, it just seems like it was what we needed at this time. It's not always the case, but at this time we did, and the players are quite relaxed, I think, and I think it's really KC has a lot to do with it.
Is he friendly? Is he almost as if he's your friend? And that's what people have said.
Well, I think that there's not, I guess, you know, you don't socialize with him a lot or anything, but you feel like we know we're all in this together, and that's what counts. And you know he's on your side, you know he's pulling for you, and as a result, guys go out there and play.
How much does it matter that he came up through the ranks?
I think it helps a lot. In one aspect, I think is very important is dealing with injuries. A lot of times players have injuries, and sometimes the coaches, you feel like worry that you might be trying to slack off and not play when you should. And I have a lot of respect for him, that he really trusts the players and feels like the players will do everything they can to get on the court as soon as they can. So that is one thing that really I think helps a lot as far as players coming back off injuries.
Great, thanks. Thanks a lot. I'll watch you with streaming. I'm going to interview somebody over at Harvard Business School and have them analyze the styles of Fitch and Jones. Tell me, describe in your own words, Casey Jones' management style.
I think KC realizes that at this level of professional basketball that you're dealing with adults, and he tries to treat you as an adult. He does a very good job of letting us have our headway enough and kind of experimenting with what we want to do, but yet he is the boss and he makes all the decisions. And he does a good job of managing us as adults, and he doesn't yell a lot, but when he says something, he can say something very forceful in a very quiet tone that probably brings home the message more than a person who's screaming at you.
Are you talking about Fitch, who was known to be a disciplinarian?
Talking about anybody that yells more often than not, you almost tone out a guy if he's always yelling and he's always enraged. You tone him up because that's just him. It doesn't have much of an effect after a while. Bill was a motivator through more of a verbal yelling, and you got people a little more excited. But Case lets you be a little bit more self-motivating. I think he'll come in and he doesn't go for the big rah-rah speeches. He tells you what you have to do, and he expects that you should go out there and do it.
How much does it matter that he came up from the ranks?
I think that's very important. He's a player. He's been with the Celtic organization for years. He knows what it takes. He's been there before. He's won 5 or 6 world championships. And he's just an experienced player, which knows exactly what he wants to do. And he's an experienced coach. And it just makes a great deal of difference. A guy's been there. He knows when you're hurt, you can't play 100%, but you give what you can.
Both of them seem to have winning teams. In other words, they're just two different styles. Either one work?
Two different styles. Both styles work. Bill was a great coach. I think sometimes people lost what a great coach he was through all the turmoil that seemed to be happening. But a lot of the turmoil really wasn't there. It was just something for people to focus on. He did a very good job. I enjoy personally playing under Casey more. She's more my style guy, a little more relaxed. But I enjoyed 3 good years under Bill. So I guess it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Thank you.